Okay, so let's start telnet from VM2 to VM3 on both interfaces, Ethernet 0 and Ethernet 1. Let's try the first one. On port 23, yes, username is Ubuntu, password is 123456. As you can see, we now have the portal. Let me just check. It says Ubuntu, as it should. Let's exit. So let's telnet from VM2 to Ethernet 1, which is connected to subnet 3. Since we have IP forward on, it should be able to connect to both the interfaces of VM3. Okay. As you can see, we can telnet from VM2 to VM3 on both interfaces. Let's exit. Let's now try to telnet from VM3 to VM2. Ubuntu. So that's working as well. Let's exit this. So with this command, we are rejecting all incoming requests from VM2 on port 23. Let's try to telnet from VM2 to VM3. As you can see, it says connection refused. Now let's also prevent VM3 from accessing port 23 on VM2. This is the IP address of VM3 on the same network 2. And the port for telnet is 23. We will reject the package. The rule is now implemented. Let's try to telnet from VM3 to VM2. As you can see, the connection is refused again. The current configuration of VM3's firewall is this. Now let's try to access a website on VM3, such as espnfc.us. As you can see, we are able to access the website right now. Let's try to disable access. Let's find the IP address of the domain to begin with. So it gives us the address as 68, 71, 216, and 177. Now let's try to block the whole domain. Let's match it with CIDR. So this is the domain that we have to block access to. We're modifying the output chain, protocol TCP, the destination being the above address. Now we have set up the rules. Let's check if we can still access the website. As you can see, the access to that website is now blocked. Now this is the current configuration. As you can see, we have disabled access to the domain of espnfc.us. Now let's block access to port 80 on VM2. Let's first see if we can access VM2 from VM1 on port 80. Since the protocol that uses HTTP port number 80 is HTTP, let's access As you can see, Apache server results in this page. Now let's disable access to port 80. Let's add a rule to port 80 in VM2. We're modifying the input chain with TCP protocol, and the source is VM1, which is this, and we reject. Now let's try the same thing again from VM1. The same address, let's try it again. As you can see, the access to port 80 is now revoked and the page does not display. Let's stop access. Let's ping VM1 from VM2. As you can see, we can now ping from VM2 to VM1. Let's add a firewall rule in VM1 that prevents this. Let's close this. Again, into the input. The source is VM2 this time. The protocol is ICMP, and the ICMP type is echo request, which is ping. Let's reject this one as well. Now let's try to do ping again from VM2. As you can see, ping does not work now. Let's stop this. Let's try to see some network traffic on interface Ethernet 0 on VM2. As you can see, there are 4,822 packets. You can see there are no packets dropped, as every packet was rejected, not dropped. Now let's see if there is any other traffic in syslog. There's not a lot to display. Now let's try to save the firewall rules on VM2. The file is my Now the rules have been saved. Let's try to display using cat. So these are the rules that exist currently on VM2.